affiliate stigma. So I hope we have more people that comes on tonight, and it's something that it is very, very important for us to address it. It's an important area for us to address as a people, and the way we act as well, because we have to take into consideration the weight of the caregiver. We call the young people the young carers. The weight of carrying the burden of a sibling, of a child, of someone that needs our care. And then the minimum anyone can do is understanding, a shoulder, or support, not judgment, not pointing out or stigmatizing to the extent that we isolate or ostracize those families. So that's what we are discussing today. And I can say from my personal experience that I know it's not convenient. We are not trying to ask people to take responsibility, but generally, as a human being, it is our responsibility to be there for one another. So even if you can't help, it's your duty to not make comments that are hurtful. Neither, there's a saying that if you have nothing good to say, you better keep quiet. Neither you start giving some behavior that, body languages that affect people, that make them shrink. So it's something that we really need to look into. And welcome, my beautiful partner. How are you?
I am good, and you?
So we are not hearing you. You are muted.
Oh, sorry. My baby came to ask me a question. I am good, thank you. I see you.
Right.
You already putting us
Yes.
through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you have something to say about that.
Yes.
Welcome, Mommy Faith. How are you?
Good evening, ma. I'm fine, ma.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
thank you, Faith. Thank you, Mommy Esther. Thank you, everyone, for being present today.
You're welcome.
So, today we were talking about the impact of diagnosis on siblings. We have seen a lot of times when siblings are going through things that they neither understand or they are prepared for or they are even matured enough to bear. But yeah, family is family. You can't, remove these things from them. We can only do as much to protect them from, feeling the whole impact of the whole situation. I just came in a few minutes ago. Adeso, can you bring me up to date what has been said? And
Yeah. So, um, we touched about it last week. So I
yes.
was just coming back to put it, the concept of that impact, what it is, and in psychology it's called affiliate stigma.
Okay.
So is a concept of social psychology that describes the negative judgment, discrimination, or social devaluation experienced by individuals because of their association with someone who is stigmatized.
Yeah.
So, for example, parents of children with disability or behavioral differences, family members of individuals with mental health conditions, caregivers of people with chronic illnesses. So, as dealing with the neurodiversity, which is one of the things we're talking about when we receive this diagnosis, and the weight falls on the family. So I make examples of the siblings,
Yes.
the young, we call them young carers,
Yes.
immediate siblings, who, like what you say, does not have a full understanding, and they love
They are
sibling. They love
siblings. Yeah.
their sibling with everything, but there's still that transfer state that make it very difficult for them to be. It happens either they will just withdraw or they behave like I don't care. But deep down they care, they love their siblings. And sometimes it creates resentment. You understand?
Yes.
So part of what I was trying to say, as a community, as a society, as neighborhoods, as part of everyday life, because we are part of each other, we have to be
Yes.
sensitive. Sometimes what we say about those situations,
Mm-hmm.
it aggravates the feeling
Yes.
of the affected family.
Yes.
Sometimes our body language alone just make people want to withdraw. So those attitudes breed isolation and ostracization.
Yes.
So my take was like, we have to be very sensitive.
Yes.
So I can't remember the example you made last week about a teenager liking another teenager, and maybe all of a sudden their sibling had a meltdown.
Yes.
You know, that's in a public place or in a social gathering, and that impacts. Instead of us to be empathetic, some of us start making some kind of comments
Yes.
that will aggravate this. Or a mother trying to de-escalate the meltdown of a child, and then we come with our unsolicited advice
Yes.
in the heat of the moment. So what I was trying to say is we just have to be careful and be empathetic, be understanding. And I now made mention that sometimes we don't just know what to say, or we are not acquainted with what is happening. Mm-hmm. But instead of making unnecessary comments, the best thing is you just don't have to say anything.
Yes.
If it takes you can walk away. And I now say that there's this saying that says that if you have nothing good to say, you just shut up.
Yes.
And it's exactly what needs to be done. You understand? And if you have the skills or the empathy, sometimes it's just being present is more than enough. Being not judgmental is more than enough to support the sibling. And if you, as someone, you can, instead of pushing your child away from the sibling, actually try to create a bond so that person will not feel isolated. That young person will not feel isolated. Because the weight that come upon that child is not fair. And we, as a people, we have to be careful not to increase it, not to be an extra weight due to our own behavior.
Yes. Yes, exactly, because I realize that as much as it's a lot of challenge, supporting these children, a whole percentage of that challenge comes from the societal perception of the situation. And as parents, if you think that these things bother you, because I remember the last time we talked about church, public place and people's behavior. If we think that these things bother us as parents, you don't even want to imagine what it does to their siblings. Because as adults, we have reached that level in our lives where we can manage, expectations, manage emotions. But as teenagers, I remember as teenagers, there are times when you feel that, in fact, the whole world is watching you. When you want to
Mm-hmm.
go outside, you feel like the whole eyes is on you. So imagine if you are in that situation and your sibling just had a meltdown in a public place. The mother, the parents are feeling like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But imagine that what you are feeling is not even up to 100th of what a sibling is feeling. To the extent that research has found that many of these siblings actually go on to have depression, low self-esteem, anxiety of going out with the family because they don't know what will happen when they go out. Like we said last Sunday, imagine if you're a young person and there is somebody, maybe you have a crush or you are admiring or the person is admiring you, and you are outside with your family and all of a sudden your sibling melts down and the whole environment is all about your sibling. It will take a whole lot to convince that child to just take it lightly. It will bring what we may not be quick to admit, but it can lead to trauma. For a young mind, it can lead to trauma. And then you realize that some of these ones, they start resenting the child on the spectrum, their sibling on the spectrum. If you ask them to go out, they say they are not going, especially when they have to come with their sibling. You think it's just because they don't want to go. No, they enjoy that going out, but they wouldn't want to be associated with whatever might happen when they are outside. And sometimes when they are outside, maybe if it becomes necessary that all of them should be in the same school, some of them may go ahead and start denying that they were their siblings. Some of them go to the extent of denying that this person is their sibling. They want to keep to themselves. They want to not have anything to do with their sibling, just because they don't want to be associated with what they might term as embarrassment or embarrassing moments. So it becomes necessary that we talk about these things, because a lot of times as parents we are too engrossed in our own challenges. We are too engrossed in our efforts to make things right that we tend to forget what these young ones are passing through. We just tend to be so into how do we support our children with challenge, how do we give them the best, how do we provide for them. We don't even remember that their siblings are needing support sometimes. And that is really, I know, even in my own home, from time to time a sibling will tell you that you don't love them, that it's only the child with challenge that you love. And that can be very disheartening. You can imagine what it would have taken that child to speak up. He would have cried in silence, would have, been miserable. And then when he just gets here, they speak up. And some wouldn't speak up. And that is why they have, they say they have up to 8 times more likelihood to get depression than children, than the teenagers that don't have a sibling with autism or other developmental challenges that are visible. So as parents, the things we discuss here are things we just feel that there are things that if we paid more attention to, it would make life a bit easier, either now or in the future. Because if you notice that one of your children despises the other, it's almost like a lifelong enmity sometimes. And that's why at some point you realize siblings are not speaking to each other. It did not start that day.
That's true.
It must have started when they were younger. You will hear one sibling saying, it's only you that our parents care about. They resent the sibling, they resent the parents. And it's not just going to go away like that. So what we are looking at is, are there ways we can, as much as we get to put them into perspective, it's also it has become really necessary that these young ones emotions are also taken into consideration, especially by us, by parents, because you cannot afford to
Yeah, by
lose.
parents and
Yes.
also by community as well.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Sometimes parents are overwhelmed. You
Exactly.
understand? Parents can be under pressure. And sometimes when we talk about this affiliate stigma, like what you said, every parent with a child in the spectrum already carry a burden of that.
Yes.
I spoke to some parents at the time, and yeah, some of them actually told me that, I don't know how to say this, but I actually resent my child. You understand? I resent my child because sometimes I know it's not their fault. It's not their fault, but I just can't. I just don't think that because of them things are not okay. Because of them we are having all these problems we are having.
Uh-huh.
You know. Now, this parent is speaking in a safe place. All right. So it's a non-judgmental place.
Yes, it's not judgmental.
So
It's just what
we
they
have
know.
to give that room for people to vent, not to judge. You understand? It does not take away their love from their child at all. It's something that, when you are overwhelmed. That's why having a right network of support, and that's why I will continue to hammer on everyone that gets basic understanding, because a mother can even shout on the child that needs, not the one that the child needs, but the other one. You understand? Who is even craving
Yeah.
for attention, and but because a parent is overwhelmed with whatever they are going through, they forget that that one is also craving for parental attention.
Exactly.
Okay. Our mom here said, is to say, as we plan for our special needs children, we must as well plan for their siblings. They should not be left out, you know. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They should not be left out. That's
Yes. Okay. Mommy Esther said we should be having honest conversation
yes.
with the siblings. Yes. As well as making them know that they matter. I perfectly agree with you.
Yes. Yes. But another thing I found out during this process, I will use myself as an example, that it was, for me, it actually was very heavy, in the sense that I was just the one that everyone was dependent on.
Yes.
Now, the issue was, now when the diagnosis came, I tried to explain it, but this sibling rivalry was very heavy. Now, the one that is neurodivergent struggle to be in school.
Yeah.
So I have to make do extra to be able to give that support. She struggled to go out by herself. So I've got to take her out. But what do I want you to plan, but you not expecting to do exactly the same thing to the one that needs support. You want the rest to also grow to that independent stage,
Yes.
and you want every. So now, when that demand is coming, and sometimes you want to enforce, and then the guilt of like you're not giving attention is depleting. Emotionally, is depleting.
Exactly.
So that is where support network comes in, because you as a parent that's in the middle of it all, you can't actually meet the needs of everyone.
Yeah.
If it's back home, you have grandma, you have aunties, you have uncles that will chip in. But in diaspora, I mean, from the BME community, uh, the black minority ethnic group, we struggle in this area because we don't have immediate families.
Exactly.
And that's why I continue to reinforce that as a community, let us be open to be supportive. As much as we want the parents, remember those parents is going through, there's a lot upon them already. And in the developmental age of the other children, they can't actually have a full understanding of what their siblings going through. So they only see the fact that you are being biased.
Yes, that's all they see.
So it's very it's dicey, because we need someone has to come in, make them feel good, and if you are a father, you are listening to us. I know for I know some wonderful fathers that are so engaged, that are so involved. I want to use this opportunity to thank you all. But there are some fathers that disengage totally from the condition. It is not okay, because the other sibling, the other children, they are going to need the reassurance of your love for them. They are going to need, as much as it's a challenge for the family, you've got to buckle up. Don't just shift everything to the mom, because we've seen a lot of situations where mom has to be the one that have to go the extra mile, stretching things, spreading things. So yes, it's something, it's not the outcome we expected. But once you have a situation, you've got to do everything, learn everything about it so that you can manage it better. It's not a time to retreat into yourself. It's not time to walk away. It's not the time to allocate blame or shift blame. It's a time to be sensitive. It's a time to be more loving. It's a time when maybe the mom is not able to give that attention to the rest sibling. It's a time you step in. Not a time that you put extra pressure on the woman to give you attention. So we've got to, there's a lot that comes in family dynamics. But I also have seen wonderful fathers that are present, and it's the mom that cannot actually cope. So I'm just speaking to us generally that as much as it's a challenging situation, we've got to do our best and work around it so that we can be supportive. Already, we have this affiliate stigma on us. Let us not make it worse for ourselves, And so everyone else that are hearing us, that listening to us, it's very important for you not to be judgmental. Your body language goes a long way. Even if you don't say anything, we see how you make your face. We see how you move your body. We might not want to let it hurt us, but it still does hurt us. It still does hurt us. So it's very important that you give us some grace, some space in that moment, and it's not a moment that we want to hear how well we should treat our children.
Yeah. It's not a moment of lecture. It's a moment of support.
That's it.
Because another angle I was looking at for those listening, even if you cannot offer support for the one that is under stress at that point, you can be a support for the ones that are around, like the younger ones that are there, because sometimes the parents' stress is increased by the fact that they have to still support the one that's under stress, but the younger ones that still need support are now being left, neglected.
Exactly.
So things like, oh, how are you, what's happening, just kind of engage them while the mother or the parents are looking at the one that is under stress. Sometimes, yeah, if you are not in a position to help with the one that is challenged, you can help with the other ones. Keep them company, comfort them, make them understand that you don't have to worry about what is happening. I hope you know that this is not their fault. I hope they are not doing it to hurt you. So if you have that skill, because sometimes that attention to the only one that is having challenge can even be a source of envy,
Of course.
even when they don't understand that the attention is not positive. They might even still miscalculate it as envy. So sometimes the help you can offer may not always be necessarily on the one that is having the challenge, but you can even offer that help to those the siblings that are around, especially if they are much younger. When they are much younger and when they are teenagers, these are very sensitive age. When they are much younger, you can support so that the woman or whoever the parent that is taking care of the one with challenge is sure now that these other ones are safe. It's not like I am holding the child that is throwing tantrums and the younger one that is less, of age, I am afraid he may walk away or get into a moving vehicle or something that might happen to them. So if someone is there and you need to offer your help, let it not always be about the one that is maybe throwing tantrums or having challenges. Your help might also be needed with the siblings. Just comfort them, keep them company, tell them nice things. If you are good with child play, give them something to smile about. Talk to them in a very kind way. It mustn't even be about their siblings, but keep them engaged. It might also be very good way to help a family when these things are happening. So I know we are all here, those of us here, we have a very good idea, but the siblings, it's unfortunate that sometimes we don't even know where to start because we are also overwhelmed. These things cross your mind from time to time, but because you have to support this one, you still have to work, and the fact that you have this concern does not take away other responsibilities from you. It becomes really, really difficult. Okay. And Mommy Esther said, unfortunately, that is the case most of the time. So I believe communication with the siblings is the key. Exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
It's a key. You have to like
Continuously having that communication. Yeah.
make them understand that family is family. This is what it is, and it doesn't mean that we love you less. It means this is what all of us are dealing with. Maybe Mommy Esther, you can say something if you want to say. It's not just both of us that can be talking. Can you please just say something?
I'm muted because somebody is
Okay, around.
Okay.
somebody is
Yeah.
right. Yes, so
Okay, okay.
there can be interaction. So
No
that's
problem.
why. Yeah,
Thank you.
maybe another time.
Yeah.
Mommy Faith, any contribution as a professional, as a mom?
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I
Good
think you are all
evening.
set. I was just listening because this is a very big topic.
Yes.
Very, very big topic. This kind of topic can be taught in a way like having a big conference for people to get awareness of it. But for it's okay for we that is also here, but it's something big. It's something big topic that the society need to really know about. And because I'm just listening, since I was inside, the noise was too much, so I came outside to sit in the car to listen. And because I have a child, as we all know, and I have a son, and to be honest, siblings of autistic siblings, what most of them go through is even more than what their own sibling,
Yes.
autistic sibling go through.
Yeah.
In a way, and especially like me now, it's just me and my son and the girl. There's no other siblings at home. Let me put it that way. It can be very, very difficult in this area. Very difficult. Everything that you all have been explaining since I've been through it, I know how it is. In my area of profession, I've also seen mothers coming to me, making complaint. And the reason I said that this is a topic that needs to be organized to really talk about is you even see some parents, most parents, I know about some parents that I know from Africa community parents that is